Welcome to the Queer Confidence Podcast, the podcast to help you become your most confident queer self. I'm your host, he, she, they, Coach Alex Ray, and I haven't always been this confident. In fact, I used to be super insecure. And through this show, I want to share with you what's worked for me, my clients, and my guests so that you can become more confident. Hello, unicorns. How you doing? I am really excited, as always, for this fun guest episode today. My friend Chelsea.
Extra today.
So much extra. Let's be honest. You've heard her. My friend Chelsea Dickinson is here on the podcast with me, and we just want to have a wild, open conversation because every time we FaceTime, we're like, wait, why did we not record this? This was just like pure gold and diamonds and platinum, just like dripping with incredible brilliance for you that y'all would just fucking love. So congratulations. Now you get to sit in on our conversation. Also, I'm self-conscious about the way that I said conversations so weirdly.
I don't even know that I want to record this with you anymore. So in any way.
And that's the podcast. Anyway, the main thing we wanted to talk about today are two fun things, which are like boundaries with the internet and how to be a fucking bitch and just let people know when they need to leave you the hell alone. Because the two of us experience that as low-key internet celebrities. We're not real like blue check mark level yet. Check back in a year. But with any entrepreneur, I think there is an opportunity where a lot of us experience like, oh, I have this pressure to kind of perform, and whether it's online or in person, I want to just say performer, like performers in general. And that's what we are. We are performers on the internet. Yeah. And it feels almost like sometimes we lose a little bit of our autonomy, our personal space. And that can be difficult. So we want to talk about being a bitch and like fixing that today. And self-sabotage and a new surprising perspective on that y'all are not expecting. So anyway, what's it like being a badass performer online? Because you like kind of let it all hang out there. We both do.
Yeah, you too, right? This is like, I want to hear your side of it too. I'm trying to like, how would I talk to you if people weren't listening? What's it like? I don't know. I think what I was kind of like telling you before is like this line of like when I hit my launch slut fame or whatever, like I had 60 people. It's also like when people are paying you, like, yeah, like that definitely had me feeling like I was like, I sold my soul and like now I had to do whatever they wanted. Like basically, like if a client had any, you know what I mean? Like that sounds horrible, but there was just like a little part of me that was like, oh my God, now I'm a publicly traded company. Like, you know, everybody wants the Chelsea that they expect. And, you know, and no one really said that, not really, but something in my brain was just like, you know, I think it's like, oh my God, I got success. Now I have to keep it. I think you were saying that earlier, right? I have to keep performing at this level or what the fuck ever.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like everything in life, everything comes in waves, ebbs and flows. Like this is just sort of how life works. It's not supposed to be like we're on stage 24/7. That would be fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things that they can leave with, and that I know I also personally want to leave this with, is besides Gideon barking in the background, more just permission for me to act kind of like a bitch sometimes when I need to. Because that character, that like bitchy character that I know I have inside that I've shamed and kind of hidden because I thought like she was rude and wasn't like appropriate for the world, She's there to protect me. That voice is not really just like an awful part of me that is going to hell. Okay, Gideon, buddy. He's really into this. But it really is a voice that pops in when I feel like I'm being taken advantage of or treated poorly or abused. And it's like that part of me wants to stick up and say something. Yeah. And then the other character that I'm so much more used to using, which is like much more like kind and gentle and submissive, is like, no, that person doesn't mean to be annoying when they're like asking 100 personal details about your life that you don't want to share. So just tell them, because they didn't have an evil intent. I'm like, no, why don't we just be bitchy and be like, yeah, I don't want to tell you that.
Yes. Oh my God. Like there's like a word and I can't think about it, like hyper justifying or something, like the other person, or like coming up with all the reasons why like they're still a good person and it makes sense why they are the way they are and blah, blah. Yeah, of course. That's just like obvious, but we don't have to like operate from that place all the time, right? And this bitch that you're talking about, we all have it. And to me, the way my therapist describes it, he's like, that's like healthy aggression. But like for so many of us growing up, like aggression wasn't allowed. And so we like shoved it down, right? And internalized it. And now when I feel bitchy, that means something's wrong with me versus this just isn't a fucking vibe and I don't have to fucking apologize for it. And I don't have to hyperanalyze it either.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, I don't have to rearrange anything about myself to make this reality, this person, this interaction, like, sit well with me. I don't know, because I don't know if you're like me, but I feel like the main place that I would go, and I'm still dealing with this, is like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Versus like, no, like if I feel something, something's off, period. I don't need to like hyper go in on myself and turn in on myself and look for how I'm wrong and figure it out. And it's always me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I had an experience with this recently. I can't remember if I told you this whole story. I don't know. We might not have like FaceTimed since this happened. I don't know. Anyway, it was like a bit over a month ago. I went to this birthday party weekend.
Yes.
Oh, I told you about this? Oh my God. And I like...
Yes.
And it was with like for a new friend, and I like kind of didn't want to go for a lot of personal reasons, but I also was like, I should go because that's like nice and supportive and whatever, right? And then I ended up having a terrible time because like these other girls showed up and they were annoying as hell. Oh my God. And I feel fine saying that publicly now because I've talked with my friend. I've been open about it. And the funny thing was, she was like, why? She's like, I still feel like you're just hiding something. They were terrible to you. They were bitches. Why didn't you just say that? And I was like, I felt like I couldn't say that to you. I don't know. And she's like, okay, well, that makes sense. We're new friends and you didn't feel the safety. That's fine. Right. So like, yeah. But also like, I do really want to evolve to the person that's just like, hi, I don't really know you. And I definitely don't know your friends, but they're terrible.
Yeah.
Like they suck ass and I'm out. I'm driving home.
Right, without like literally shitting your pants as you do it and being like internally dying. Yeah, me too.
Right.
Goals, that's on my fucking dream board now.
Like Regina George on the...
Yes.
I think we all need that. We have to have more of that.
We really do. We really fucking do.
And some people need to have less. They just need to give it, like, loan it out to us.
Right? Oh my God. Some people, like, yeah, it's to an extreme degree. I think Rebecca Rebecca this morning, I was on Boxer, and she was like talking about this. There needs to be more bitchiness. Like, and actually, the more bitches there are in the world, the nicer the world is because, right, there's no fake people pleasing, overextending on your own boundaries to look good or have this like Jesus complex, right? Like, I'm like, where do we pick it up that we need to like understand and love and accept everyone all the time? Like, you know?
Yeah, that definitely is like a church thing, I think. I think you're onto something there. Ugh.
Oh, those cult moments in early childhood.
Oh yeah, y'all, we both grew up in a cult, so different cults, but same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh wait, also, um never mind, I lost it. I have no idea what I was gonna say. It was something about right before you mentioned the cults. I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't know. It wasn't.
George.
I'll think of it. If it was important, I'll think of it.
Important, it'll come back.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like a lot being a performer of any sort.
Yeah.
Any type of like public-ish figure. We're not like public figures, you know, we're not like working in government.
The hell we are.
I mean, in the strictest, most technical sense of the word, but like we are out there. We're like out there, like putting our life on the internet. We're putting ourselves out there. We're showing up like really, really kind of out there, and it can be exhausting.
Yeah, it can. And I think like with no boundaries, right? Like, why does it seem like we're the bad person if we want to say no? Like as if we need to be accessible and polite and you know what I mean to everyone? I don't know, but I think so many people have this, right? That like it's that good person thing and fear of being a bad person. At least that's a big one for me. And I think it sounds like you too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always have this like fear. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do something wrong. I'm doing something wrong here. I'm like hurting people.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. And then it's like, fuck, I can feel this era happening. And I feel like it's happening for both of us to get even bigger and be like, fuck it. Like, you're not really making a difference if you're not accidentally like hurting people. Like, I don't know, like maybe people getting hurt isn't the worst thing in the world. Why do we need to overprotect everyone's feelings, right? And make sure us asserting ourselves in the world never impacts anyone in a wrong way, possibly ever, right? Like, it's like, fuck, then how do you make a move?
You can't.
You fucking can't.
I was thinking about this recently too, of like the yin and yang and how it's such a good point framework, whatever, like about how life is. There's always good and evil and good, like no matter what we do, we can do the best, most caring thing in the world, and it also is going to have some kind of negative unintended side effect.
I don't know if you believe this, but I believe like everything's neutral, like in the world, and like our egos judge good, bad, positive, negative, and like, I mean, the human experience is that, right?
Yes, like things just sort of happen, and humans decide whether it's good or bad.
Right, we're the only ones. We're the only ones with that function. Like, tigers aren't out in the world. Like, oh my God, I can't believe Toby killed Mary the other day. Can you believe that? Like, it's like, man, Toby had himself a good motherfucking dinner, right? Like, and then they fight over the meal. Like, whatever.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of, I think we also do it as a game for ourselves. I think we keep life interesting by judging it.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Like, I think so too.
And also like deciding things are wrong or bad or problematic, and then we have a thing to solve. And we're like,
Mm.
yay, I won the game. I did it.
And we're superior to whatever thing we're judging.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, right? Having a
Yeah.
superiority complex is the best
Is
about whatever.
right. Oh my God, I remembered another example. ADHD. Tom's, the shoe company.
Yeah.
Remember how they give one for every pair they get?
Yep.
They were another example. They accidentally destroyed the like shoe industry in some of the countries that they were donating to because, you know, there were obviously shoe makers that existed, but they came in and they're like, "Hey, everyone, have free shoes."
Oh.
And they were like, "Oh shit. We put all these businesses out of business."
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my God. This is like so healing to my nervous system. I'm like, yeah, more of these examples, please.
right. But yeah, I love, yes. We got it, which also kind of gets me curious too about like, okay, wait a minute. If it is just a game and we just sort of decide what's good and bad, it kind of relieves a little pressure when we're talking about like, oh, I'm being an absolute asshole by
Yeah.
telling this person like, no, like I don't want to be your friend. No, I don't want to work with you. Blocked in the DMs, not
Yeah.
responding. Oh my God, I've had this thing about not responding to people's DMs. And so then
Yeah.
I'll like avoid Instagram for like a week. And then it's been
Ah! Have you been spying on me? Yes.
like I have my assistant respond to a lot of DMs now because I'm like, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And honestly, since I stopped responding, guess what? Nothing bad has happened. And like legit, like there are people that I personally know that I keep in my like inbox where I check it.
Yep.
But like I won't respond to those things for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks sometimes. And then I'll go and I'll be like, oh God, 30 messages to go through. Let's just do this real quick. And then I look through and I'm like, none of these are even relevant anymore. Or I'll respond and it was like somebody hearted my story or something, reacted to my story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, thank you. And they're like, I don't even remember what that was. Like, they don't people don't fucking care. Okay, all of you performers, like, listen up. People don't give a shit. It's like fans love to just like express their adoration for their celebrity, right? Whoever they put on that celebrity pedestal, they like don't really need anything in return. You already existing are the thing in return.
Period. And if they do feel entitled to something or do feel like they need something, that's even more reason to not feed into that, right? Because you're just going to like feed a relationship that's like parasitic, basically, right? And like someone needs to like say no. Like you're not obliged, right? I think about it like this. I'm like, I never fucking send a DM. Like, let's say I watch one of your stories and I like say something, or I even DM you. I never fucking write a DM and then say like, oh my God, they haven't responded to me. Like, remember that DM I sent? I don't ever fucking remember. Right. I'm not like, oh my God, I complimented them on their brand and they didn't say thank you. I like long forgot about that shit. I have enough on my plate. Like, I'm not sitting here remembering what I said to someone 2 weeks ago, right? Or like last 30 minutes. Really?
No.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I just thought about it too. Like, let's think about when it actually would ever matter. And I'm like, I literally can't actually think of a time. Like, if Lady Gaga, right? Like, if we go to all the different areas of the spectrum of connections, like me and Lady Gaga, right? She doesn't know I even exist. Yeah. But like, I adore her. I think she's fantastic. I do not expect to ever get a response for, also, I don't think I've ever DM'd her, but if I did, why would I expect a response? That would be like crazy. If I like went to a concert and like threw something on stage, like, oh my God, she didn't send me a thank you card. Why didn't I get a thank you card for my gift?
It would be psychotic. You would be out of your fucking
Right.
mind.
But also, like, then if we go to the other extreme, like some stranger on the street and we're like, hi, how are you? Let's have a conversation. Like, we would be the crazy one. Like, that person's like, I don't really know you. What do you, what?
Yeah.
Whether it was like nice or not, if I'm like, I want this full on two-way conversation with you right now, like, they
Mhm.
don't, who are you? And then,
Period.
and then even like our friends, like, I had a text from one of my absolute closest friends um last night asking like, hey, can you talk? And I didn't see it for several hours,
Mhm.
and I responded like, hey, I could make myself available right now if you really need it, otherwise could we talk tomorrow? And then I saw a message this morning, it wasn't going to work out, it's fine, we'll talk later. But like, so even our closest friends do
Yeah.
not expect us to
No.
always be available for everything all of the time. So where
No.
did we get this idea that like, oh, I'm a performer and my audience is owed like
Yeah.
these
Right?
conversations with me whenever they want it?
Oh, I think it's almost like maybe it's like a flawed belief system of like I wouldn't be able to be where I am without these people like buying into my show. Even though like
Mm,
that small percentage, it's like a very small percentage that is like entitled fans, right? Because the internet has created such a oh, I can touch anyone whenever I want. I can get in anyone's
mm-hmm.
inbox at any time. Like very entitled era, in my opinion. Like, but like I remember Brandon sat down. I was probably making myself sick about what we're talking about, like DMs or whatever. And he was like, "You don't owe anyone anything ever, period." And he kept saying it. And when he first said it to me, I was like, "You're fucking crazy."
Right.
Like can't think like that. Like that's so fucked up. And then eventually I was like, wait, you don't owe anybody a friendship, a reply, an explanation, like your
Right.
energy, your time, your immediate I'm on call, anything, right?
Right. I don't remember signing a contract that said, in exchange for your adoration, I will always be available to you. Yeah.
No. Well, I think also like another place that it probably stemmed from is our relationships early to toxic ass people who, if you
Mm.
didn't do what they wanted, they put out a horrible stink and manipulated the fuck out of your nervous system until you felt like you were so fucking sick to your stomach that you just did whatever they wanted. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you're talking about. I was never manipulated as a child by a cult. Ugh, by
Right?
crazy ass adults that were like, yes, this is how the world works.
Yeah. And you have to cater to my energy and my moods and my wants and my desires
Right.
and my expectations of you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Or you're like sinning. Ooh, like one of my least favorite ever is that stupid verse. I will never get it out of my head. I had to memorize this as a kid. Ephesians 6:1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. And it was just like the way that it was used was like, this is what this verse means is, and maybe it does, I don't know, I don't really give a shit, but what this verse was interpreted to was it means that you have to always obey your parents without asking any questions.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, I look around and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, why was that a problem? That I was curious, like, why do you
Mhm.
want me to do this, mom or dad?
Yeah.
Like, that's not, I'm not like an evil person for asking why. Like,
Yeah.
a child is supposed to be curious so that they can understand and learn how the world fucking works.
Right. And like whenever you feel like something doesn't feel right, to trust that. But we were taught to like override that
Right.
because whatever, right?
Everyone else always knows best. And if we don't
Ugh,
follow it, we're going to hell.
what a brilliant like business model.
Do you want to start a cult after this?
I think so. Yes. I also
It's
think
great. They're tax exempt and everything.
fucking great. Money, brainwashing, done. We should create some hot musical, not musical, a hot music video of like creating a cult for the coaching
Yes.
and getting rich. And just having people like blindly following us and their eyes are like hypnotized and they're like in love with us. And then we like have a flash mob and they do whatever dance moves we want and they're spending all their money.
It's like a thriller moment. I'm just seeing like zombie dances.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny to laugh about it, but also like the coaching industry is like that in so many ways, and I fucking hate it, which is why I made that announcement like a month ago, and I was like, I'm leaving the coaching industry, the life coaching industry, because I hate this shit. I use the skills of coaching, but like what I see is like what has been labeled the life coaching industry is literal actual cults.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
many cults, many cult leaders.
And
It's no longer like, hi, I have a mental health service that I can provide. It's like, hi, I would like to be worshipped and paid lots of money for it.
yeah. Yeah. And to be put on a fucking pedestal. I mean, we've all had those experiences with coaches, right? That are like, oh my God, like fucked me up 10 ways to Sunday. And then I'm like, why do I feel worse after this? You know what I mean? Like, fuck. I'm all fucked up. What's wrong with me that I feel fucked up now, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's dark. It's fucking dark. Some of it. Not all of it, but some of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. I'm like, no, 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 no. I also think that Jesus quote should be, I'm like, I don't know what you said, Ephesians or something for this shit. Oh my God.
No, Ephesians 6:1. The Ephesians were, I can't remember. They were either a church or like a small nation. I think they were a church.
Okay, I take it. I believe you. Whatever
They were the
you
people
say.
of Ephesus. I know that. They lived in Ephesus. Okay, so they weren't a nation. I'm like logicking my way through this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're gonna be out here like empowering people and also empowering ourselves to be fucking bitches and be like, no.
No.
Like, I love you, but like, hi, fan. You're awesome, but like over there. And I do not owe you everything
No.
that you're asking for. I'm
And
sure big
go
name
on.
celebrities get inappropriate requests all the time. And they're
Oh
like,
my
they don't
God.
even respond. Like, who has time to respond to all these requests for dirty underwear? Not me.
No. Hell no. Are you kidding? They don't fucking respond. They're like, yeah. And it's not an issue. And people who aren't entitled and who regulate themselves aren't upset about it. Right.
Yeah.
That's like, if you're afraid of someone's reaction and they always react in a way to get their way and bully because they're entitled to your time and your energy, that is a person who doesn't deserve your time and energy. Like there's a reason that you don't feel comfortable with somebody coming in closer, right? And sometimes it's just like a frequency. It's like, your personality, I just don't like it. I'm sorry. Like, and you don't
Right.
need to tell people that, right? I don't know, maybe you do, but like I hate when like there's a misalignment. I'm like, we are not a fit, and like you're talking to the person and they just think it went great and it is a fit, and I'm like, why aren't you picking up on the context clues that we don't fit together? Do you know what I mean?
We are not friends.
We aren't friends. They're like, we're best friends.
Like, no. Yeah. We, at the beginning, mentioned Sabotage. We don't even have to say anything about it. We can just be like, ugh, we're over it. Unless there's something we want to talk about. Is there anything around Sabotage you do want to talk about?
What do I?
As the queen of Sabotage.
Like what?
I said as the queen of Sabotage.
I think something I'm learning in my it's been like Oh my God, I forgot to do like my anniversary thing for being 3 years as a Sabotage Queen. No, I did do that. No, 2 years. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I was like, oh fuck, I dropped the ball on one of those announcement things, but I didn't this time.
Uh,
Um,
Also, even if you did, who cares? You don't have to announce it.
who gives a shit, right? And then the other thing I think that like being a badass celebrity, like stepping into like your queendom or kingdom is like
Hmm.
not announcing that you didn't announce, like apology posts or like
Oh my God, that
get like
annoys the shit out of
posts.
me.
Yeah, like oh my God, I forgot. I'm sorry. Like, and sometimes I still do it and I hate myself for it. But I
every
agree.
every time I read that from someone, my first thought is like, oh, like I kind of feel bad for them because I'm like, oh my God, you're so concerned. You like genuinely concerned, and you think so many people are caring and watching, and that like, and you feel guilty about it. And I kind of like feel bad for them that they're like guilt tripping themselves because I'm like,
Yeah,
literally no one noticed and they didn't
yeah,
care, and you
yeah,
could have just announced it on the wrong day or whatever, and it wouldn't have fucking mattered
yeah. Wouldn't have fucking
at
mattered.
all.
And you're making me sick about it, right?
Right.
Ugh. Yeah. So sabotage. Okay, something I'm learning after 2 years of being in this work, I feel like, and through Rebecca has helped me a lot, is like you were saying at the beginning, or did we say this off script? I don't
Who
remember.
knows?
Who knows? I realize I ramble a lot, so whatever. I'm learning this about myself.
I
Um,
have known for a while that I do that. So I'm better than
I'm
you because I've known for a while.
there. Need help. I need tips on accepting it. Like, oh, you're still talking. How did you not get your concept out yet, bro? Okay. Sabotage can be like healthy, and it is
Yeah.
healthy, and it can be like, what if it's not like a bad thing? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
actually, I think Rebecca said this to me. She's like, you're actually like up leveling your nervous system. Like, because she was like hearing a lot of, I think, me coming down on myself about like, oh, I've been really sabotaging lately. And she was like, what do you mean by that? Like, what if you're just like taking care of yourself and replenishing so that you can get like even bigger on the internet? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the times that I find myself doing things that look like self-sabotage frequently is like when I feel like I'm losing power,
Mm.
and then so, like auto- my autonomy is a big thing to me. And
Mm.
so I've noticed, like, I had in September a big sale on my coaching.
Yeah.
However, I am feeling emotionally kind of booked up and my schedule, my time is feeling pretty booked up, and so I didn't really exactly want more, because if I had more clients, if I had like, I don't know, exploded on the internet and been one of
Yep.
those people that like, had like 1 million views on TikTok and then 30 people were like, "Hi, I want to work with you now." Um, I would have been really overwhelmed by it, and I would have had a hard time saying no to it, and I would have felt like I should take them.
Yeah.
And the truth is,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted it because
Yeah.
I like the stage of life that I'm in at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying myself and things are going well.
Yeah.
And so I think I didn't really talk much about it. And
Mm.
I didn't show up much on the internet, even though I was like, "Oh, sale, like yay, let's bring in clients and I can do," but like the truth was I didn't really actually want it. So I did sabotage one thing, but it was to save another. What I actually wanted was being saved.
Mm. I fucking love that. See, and
Yeah.
that's genius. Like your sabotage has intelligence to it,
Right. Yeah.
you know? And sometimes it is like I feel like it's a spectrum, right? It's like sometimes you're kind of in the oh, what would they call this? I'm thinking about polarity, like masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
And there's like I'm thinking of like
Dichotomy, is that the word you're looking for?
no, John Wineland talks about this in like your masculine It's like you can be basically the essence is like you can be in your unhealed masculine or your healed
Oh,
masculine
yeah.
or your I don't know. I don't like those words necessarily, but let's say maybe you're dark feminine, your dark masculine. So you could be in your
Hmm.
dark sabotage, which is kind of like, I don't know. Let's say your dark sabotage is like your partner is just fucking you right and like loving the shit out of you and being so good to you. And like, so you get more manipulative and you just like push them away and you're like picking fights and like coming up with reasons why they aren't the one, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Again,
Either. Me
never
neither.
heard of this.
It's not like the reason I started doing what I do. Not at all. Oh my God. So that would be like your shadow sabotage, right? And
Yeah.
then you have your like, or your dark sabotage. And then you have like your, whatever the fuck the other end would be. I don't know. Like, is there a
I think
word?
it all, I don't know, personally, I think it all ends up coming down to perspective and like, okay, do you really want this relationship or not? And like, maybe if you're sabotaging it, the answer is you do want it, but you also have a stronger desire for something else. And the two, as far as your brain is like currently aware, conflict with
Yeah.
each other.
Yes.
You set them
100%.
up at odds. Like I've set up working with more amazing queer humans at odds with like me having a life with autonomy where I do get to actually live the life that I want, which is funny because I'm an entrepreneur and that's why I got into this industry in the first place, like, or into entrepreneurship is because I hated
Yep.
working for a company
Yep.
and I
Yes.
loved working for myself. So actually, I do have a lot more available, but like, it's always this belief that there's like a conflict between two things. Like, hey, my
100%.
boyfriend really like loving me and fucking the shit out of me, and like it's going so well, and we're just madly enjoying our lives together is like somehow
Uh-huh.
at odds with something else that is like higher priority in the moment.
Like
Even though
drama.
maybe yeah, it's
Or
not
you
exciting anymore, maybe.
Yep. So you're like your need for drama or your addiction to like someone questioning your worth or having some kind of conflict is like bigger than like harmony, right? So like
Mm,
you're saying. And even if we tie it back to the like celebrity thing and like villain vibes of like wanting to be bitchy and like own your power, but also at the same time wanting everyone to see you as like a good person and everyone to like you and no one to ever reject you. And also inside of that is like the part of you that gets off on feeling like you're this might be inappropriate, but like gagged on the internet a little bit. Like you
oh,
can't
please
say
be
everything you want
inappropriate.
to. Do you know what I mean? Like you have like a gag order on the internet because you
Hmm.
have to be a good person and you can't like, oh, I just can't be myself on the internet because blah blah blah. And that like, I don't know, that gets you something, right? You get off on
Hmm.
that, on feeling like you can't have freedom of speech. And
Yeah.
that's bigger than actually like being a badass bitch who says no to some people.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you're going to be gagged on the internet, then you're gonna kind of getting taken care of. It's like, oh, good,
Mhm.
I don't have to make all the decisions about what I can and can't say.
And I don't have to have all these conversations with people or be exposed to their reactions or their
Yeah.
emotion, right? And then have to deal with mine and reaction to theirs. That's definitely been mine. That's been my
Hmm.
biggest cock block to growing. Like I grow and then like you saw, like I basically like blew my load on the internet and then like rolled over and like took a 4 month nap and was like, I don't wanna like everybody like stop looking at me. Right?
Yeah.
And now it's like, fuck, like I want to be seen, but there's that conflict, right? Of like, you go back out there, you start taking up space, you're going to have to deal with this.
Right. Yeah.
People, people, relationships, emotions, saying no,
Yep.
all the things that you know about.
I just got this wonderful deep sense as you were saying that of like excitement to be my biggest self exploding my load out on the internet. I don't know. It's something about the way that you phrase that just is so like, oh yeah, it's okay to like
Yeah.
do it and then feel scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I posted the other day about getting the non-binary gender marker on my
Yes.
license. I haven't read any comments or seen if people liked it at all. Like I have no clue. I posted that and then the next day I was like, I don't want to get on Instagram. And then I was like, oh, I know why. I don't want to know the response because I'm intimidated. And then the next day I was like, oh, I want to post something. And then I was like, but I don't want to go on Instagram.
But no, let's stay off the internet. Yep, yep. Oh, I love that hot exposure.
Right.
Those big posts, man. Like, oh, good for you.
I have,
Like,
but I didn't like curl up and die like I've done in the past. So I'm proud of that. But also like I totally have hid. And thank God like I have an assistant who can post stuff for like the podcast and stuff. Cause like if you don't know everyone, I do not make the previews for the podcast and post it to my story. Like I have an assistant that does that. Are you kidding me? I don't do that. Right. Like he's the most badass, amazing human. If anyone out there needs an assistant, you have to. Oh my God. Incredible.
amazing.
Adore him. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I was like, oh, look, it looks like I'm still alive and interacting on the internet, but I'm not. Like, someone's doing it for me. Thank God.
That's celebrity status. Like,
Right.
holy hot. Yeah, I'm hiring my VA in like a month or two. I'm very excited for this life that
Amazing.
you are talking about, that like I'm having a low-key allergy to Instagram, but you guys still think I'm here. Like,
Right.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would love to just record things on my own and send it to him. Maybe we'll start doing this and send it to him and be like, here, can you post it for me? Like, I just don't even want to open the app.
That used to be a vision of mine like 2 years ago. I was like, I
Yeah.
will have somebody, I'll just record everything on like my camera and I won't even be on the app at all.
Yeah. I know people that do it. I have a friend that
Really?
like yeah, I have a friend that she has a small she like works with this small company that does PR and ad stuff. So basically she like the team sends her a message like, "Hey, here are like the 5 things we'd like you to record for
Mhm.
TikTok." She records them and sends it to them and they add all the text, they add the music, they add everything, they create her TikToks for her and they put them out. And so like she's real active out on TikTok, but she's not out on there. Like she literally just records it on her video function on her phone and then sends it to the company and they take care of it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I don't know. I think we can like regulate our nervous systems and deal with it, but I also like I think there's something too, like these are just like many slot machines. It's intense, right?
Yeah.
You post an amazing celebration like what you just did coming out, and
Yeah.
like then it's a lot to receive like all the people, even just happy things. Like it's a
Right.
lot. And like you hear, to me, you hear more and more and more about billionaires and like some of the most fucking like successful celebrities completely not on social media.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason for that, you know, like for mental health. Like, yeah, we can manage it, but also, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's
Well,
something I think about.
yeah. I mean, okay, I'm comparing this to like when I go-go dance. I'm up on the on a state. Oh, you didn't know I go-go danced?
I know
You did.
you dance, but I didn't know it was go-go dancing.
Well, I don't know what makes it go-go dancing. I
Isn't
dance in my
go-go,
underwear.
isn't it like 70s or no?
Oh, okay, yeah. Like yes, you're right. Like officially like go-go, but it's like used for other things now. But yes,
Oh,
that's
okay. That's amazing. Still, I just love hearing that phrase.
oh. I dance on a stage or a bar or whatever in my underwear and
Hell
people
yes.
give me money. It's great.
Yeah.
Um, but what was I gonna say about it? Dancing. Oh. But I'm not. Here's the thing: when you're like literally physically performing for a crowd, you're not hearing everyone's thoughts. You know that they're out there,
Mhm.
but you have very minimal. It's kind of a one-way interaction, right? I'm giving out. I do feel an energy back from the crowd of like excitement and
Yeah,
joy, etc. But like I'm not having to like intake all of that information. So it's not like my brain's overwhelmed by processing
right,
everyone's opinions.
right.
When we put things out on the internet, we can do the same thing, like what we're talking about, like where I was like, here's my like announcement, and I'm not reading any of your comments because that's not the point. I wanted
That's
to
not
just share this thing, and it would be like having a conversation with every single person in the room while I'm dancing.
yeah.
Like that's not, no one would expect that in real life, but yet we do that online. I love, love, love. I have so much, I really do have so much love in my heart for everyone that follows me online, in
Yes,
person, who I work
yes,
with, etc.
yes,
But
yes.
I do have to be reasonable with what I can consume as a human. And
As a human
yeah.
first.
And even if it's loving thoughts and things that people are sharing with me, their loving opinions of me, it's like a lot of information. It's like cramming for an exam. There's so much that's like being crammed into my brain. And I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. But like, I just can't hear it anymore.
Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, that is just so validating. Thank you for sharing that. I'm like, oh yeah. Like when I'm like, oh my God, I sabotaged after blowing up. Like I felt so overly intoxicated by people's feedback, you know? And I
Yeah.
think like what you're saying is like having this, it is a deep, 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 like, I don't know if the word is reverence, but like gratitude and just such a space of like, thank God for these people who like follow us and like love
Yeah.
like what we have to offer in our art. And at the same time, like there is a degree where like it's not a two-way street. I'm putting out a performance and then there's a period. It's not a here you can put all your feedback. I don't want all your feedback. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I don't think it's healthy or appropriate for us to be subject to all of that. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, that I think that's a big way that we like stop growing or we like pace ourselves, which is fine. We don't need to go fast, fast, fast.
Mhm.
Um, but to, you know, intake all of that, like there has to come a time where like you post an epic celebration post and it's like, I'm not reading a goddamn thing anybody says. And thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. And I'm just celebrating to celebrate for myself, really. And I wanted like people to witness me in it. And like, I don't want to read 100 handwritten letters about it, even though that's so kind.
Right.
And
It is so
does
kind.
and right? And like I don't know about you, but like talking about the bitch part, that little voice, it's like, oh my God, like people took the time to like write and get their paper out or pull their phone out and take the time to write to you. Like you should respond to them. Like, what's wrong with you that you're not like, it's like, but these aren't things like if there's strings attached, that's not our business. Like if
Yeah.
people put comments with a string, no, you
Right.
know?
That's so true. And I think probably the overwhelming majority of humans
Mhm.
alive using social media
Mhm.
don't really expect a response to their comment.
No, no.
But we put a pressure on ourselves that we assume they expect it, and we assume like good people can do that. And
Yeah.
that's just, it's not true.
It's not true. And it's because we've probably had like deeply abusive handful of interactions with people who
Yeah.
had like their claws around us and
Yeah.
had these deep reactions, right? That we became attuned to in order to survive. That like now that becomes the everyone's going to do this and I can't function, right?
Hmm.
If you think about it, fucking dial up was like 22 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I kind of miss it. Like as much as I like my lifestyle is on this like Instagram platform and I fucking love it. there's sometimes I'm like, damn, I miss like fucking dial up and like, you know what I
Where
mean?
nothing
Like
was fast enough for this.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's we were forced when things were slower, when you don't have all that instant feedback, you're forced to have the time to process. And now kind of what we're expecting of ourselves is this, oh, I should be able to have thousands of people saying something about me, and I should be able to process each of those individually, just as I would if one friend came to me and said, hey, we like I adore you, or hey, we have an issue.
Right. And that's a lot. Like having one person say something is a fucking lot,
Right.
right? To
Yeah.
deal with. And no wonder we feel like, I don't know, objectified sometimes, or like we are the internet's object
Yeah.
or puppet, you know? It's like, because everybody thought there was a feedback box and there's fucking not. Like
Right.
some people,
I mean,
right? Not
not
everybody.
everyone. One thing on that, and I don't want to like go super deep on this at the moment because we gotta like wrap up our conversation.
Yeah, we
This has been
do. We
so
gotta
good.
put a bow on it.
We gotta,
Well,
we gotta hurry up and come, right? Like
yeah, right. Brandon just walked back in, dying. Like every time you say this shit, he's
something
like,
dirty. I love it. It's just Alex.
right.
Uh, wait, what the? Oh, mm. Characters. I have been really thinking about what is my like public persona versus
Yes.
my private, my on the clock versus my off the clock, and really making this clear delineation. And it's funny because I thought for the longest time, it only within the last few months is when I realized, wait a minute. I have for years been thinking I need to be more authentic. And I thought authentic meant no boundary access to me.
Right.
Authentic does not mean that. Like, for example, a drag queen, I think there are such good examples of this. Drag queens, they put on this persona and their like personality that they come up with for this drag queen is based on them.
Yes.
It is authentic.
Uh-huh.
But it's not like all of their blood and guts. It's
No.
not everything. It's not all of their trauma. It's not everything. It's not their whole
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
It is a projection that they've curated, and that doesn't mean that it's inauthentic.
Yes.
And so I've been realizing like, oh, wait a minute, that's the break or the gift that I need to give to myself is like have the performer Alex and the off the clock, the human, the regular person Alex, and really separate them. And two things I've been using to do that, to make it really conscious for myself, is I shifted my schedule. So I made sure like all of my public facing work was only 3 days a week, and my private stuff was the other 2 days. And then I have my weekends really off. And my outfits that I choose, like I'm in all black right now and I'm wearing sweats and a t-shirt, right? Like this is not how people expect to see me, because I very clearly now, I didn't used to, but I now have two very different wardrobe styles, and it's not a problem for me anymore. I like do it on purpose. And also makeup. I do not wear makeup anymore unless I'm like unless I'm performing in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that for yourself too. And I think you said it perfectly, like to have boundaries for ourselves, and what we give and show to the world is our choice. And it's healthy to have that like parameter that is not everything, you know?
Yeah.
To protect yourself, really. I mean, in a lot of ways. I don't know, maybe some people would agree or disagree, but like having that, because to me, you can give more when you give less, like when you have these protective spaces for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that. I fucking love that. You're a genius.
You're a genius. Thank you for like Thanks for letting us record our conversation.
First.
And I'm so excited to share this on my podcast. Okay, let's step into the performer real quick and out of just our combo. Everyone is going to want to know where they can go drool over you on the internet and like hear all your wonderful thoughts. What?
The performer thoughts. Basically one place at the Sabotage Queen on Instagram.
Done. Easy.
Done.
Great. Mm-hmm. And we will have that linked up in the show notes for anyone that wants to hang out with you on the internet and throw dollars at you as you put yourself out there, and who wants to like work with you and become an expert in sabotage and using it in a helpful way, not a hurtful way.
Yes. I love that.
So good.
Thank you for today.
Thank you for chatting with me. This is so good. I love this.
I love this. I love you. I'm so grateful for this relationship.
Yes, me too. Okay, let's say goodbye to everyone and then we'll hug and kiss goodbye ourselves. Okay. Bye everyone. Have a great week and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend so they too can become more confident. You can also help more people find the show by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. And if you want to become a more confident queer with support from yours truly, head to CoachAlexRay.com or use the link down in the show notes. I'm looking forward to working with you.